want to thank you all for joining us here for our Fall Business Expo here at the DoubleTree. I want to thank all the exhibitors for standing up. I want to thank our sponsors of the Expo. I want to thank our title sponsor, the Modern Events Company, our friend sponsor, All Sports Heroes. I want to thank our Expo VIP Luncheon sponsors, Eastern Bank, and North Atlantic Investment Partners. So thank you to all our sponsors. I'm also just going to mention a couple quick upcoming events. Next week we have the Hispanic Business Opportunity Breakfast Forum. It's this coming Monday at Burden's Grill in North Andover. There is still time to register for that. The very next evening, on Tuesday of next week, we have our next evening networking mixer. It's at G's Southern Texas Flair in downtown Haverhill. And then the following Monday, we just confirmed for September 22nd, the email will be going shortly for that. It's our annual Public Safety Breakfast Forum. You don't want to miss that program. If you're a business owner, if you're a resident in the community, we have the Essex County Sheriff, the District Attorney, and all of the chiefs as well speaking at that program. So that's going to be taking place at Merrimack College on September 22nd, and there is a registration now open. And then the last program I'm going to mention before I turn it over is that we have on September 29th, it's our annual Taste of the Merrimack Valley, one of my favorite events, the Taste of the Merrimack Valley. Over 20 restaurants will be handing out food that evening. Come with your friends, your colleagues. It's always a great time, and again, there's time to register right now. It's sold out for exhibitors, September 29th, right here at the DoubleTree Monday evening, so we look forward to seeing everyone there as well. So with that being said, we're going to turn over to our chairman, Mike Sullivan, who's going to welcome everyone, and then we'll introduce our speaker. So thank you.
Thank you, Michael. Just quickly, representing the Merrimack Valley Chamber of Commerce as chairperson, I represent the board of directors. There's approximately 35 of us that volunteer to make your chamber, but we all recognize that the chamber is doing so great because of all of you, the people that participate. Thank you for all the vendors that are here today. I want to thank our ambassador, Mr. Tom Spitaleri, who's taping all this. Tom, can you put a round of applause for Tom? This is being filmed. He's been filming the event all day. And a little shout out, Trish is here from our board of directors. Trish, can you stand up? Trish Kabula, thank you, Trish, for what you do. And to all of you, thank you for being here. Thank you to our keynote speaker. We're looking forward to your words. And afterwards, make sure you stop back and visit the expo. These vendors they have a lot of stuff that people are putting in the bags and walking out with, a lot of good giveaways. So, but thank you for being here. And Joe and Michael, thank you once again for doing everything you do at the Merrimack Valley Chamber. So thank you.
Thank you, Mike. Thanks again for Mike being the chairman of the Merrimack Valley Chamber. Appreciate all your support. With that being said, by the way, Mike's giving away a house and a car at his booth, so you might want to stop by there after the expo, after the lunch. And again, the expo lunch, the expo itself runs till 3 p.m., so there's still plenty of time to visit all the exhibitors right after the lunch. And then immediately after the expo, 3 to 5 p.m., we have the mixer, again, free to attend. So with that being said, I'm going to turn it over to our keynote speaker, Gail Zona, who's the founder, entrepreneur, and former tech exec, and now the owner of Learn AI for Biz. So with that being said, welcome, Gail.
Well, thanks so much, Mike. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you all. Keep eating, that's fine. We're going to talk a little bit about AI today and the things it can do. I've got lots of examples of different kinds of businesses that you can see. Okay, so today we're going to talk about how business owners can take advantage of AI. So a little bit about me. I am the founder of a company called Learn AI for Biz, but I was in high tech for years and years and years. So learning AI was not a big deal for me. When I left high tech, I started my own business, small business just like yours, a gift business. I was working with realtors and businesses for client appreciation gifts, closing gifts, and just like you, I had to do it all, right? Oh my God, where'd the hours of the day go, right? You're so busy doing everything, you can't possibly get everything you want done. So I'm trying to figure out, do I want to hire somebody to help me with marketing? What do I do? And AI hit the scene, November 22. And I said, I wonder if this could help. So I dug in, played around with it, and yes, oh yes, it could really help. I was amazed. I started talking to all my friends and my colleagues, and they're like, I can't figure this out, Gail. I'm not sure really what's going on. I say, hey, let me show you. And they're like, whoa, look at all the stuff you can do. And I thought, this is what I should be doing. So the gift business is no more, but the Learn AI business is going full swing, and I love it. I love teaching people how to use it. I've got a light bulb in my logo there, and it's because everybody has light bulbs popping in their head after they work with me. And so AI really is all about the light bulbs. And there's a head there, because AI does not replace humans, it augments humans. So I've helped, to date, over 700 people learn how to use AI, and still counting. That's what we're doing. And today, that's what we're going to be working on. Okay, show of hands. How many are newbies, haven't ever used it? Not really. People who don't want to admit it. Okay, there we go. Playing around with it, can't really figure out how this works. And now how about dabblers? Using it, yeah, okay. That's usually where it ends up. And dazzlers, you're using it all the time, but okay, you're going to learn some things today, trust me. But that's good. We're going to talk at all levels because I don't want to leave anyone behind. So we've got about 45 minutes to an hour worth of presentations, and then we'll open the floor for questions because I want to make sure I answer all of your questions today. We're going to use ChatGPT today live, so you can see actually how it works. I use ChatGPT mostly because one, it's the most popular, so okay, most people have heard of it, most people have used it, and I'm training people, so that's what I want to do. But two, it's the best one you can use for customization. And the key to really getting the best results out of AI is to customize it. And I'll show you a way to start that today. But that is really the key. Everybody says, well, it sounds like a robot. Well, yeah, until you train it, until you customize it. So that's one of the things I help people do, but I'll give you a few tips today so you can start on your own. That's really the key there. So we'll talk about how to use AI the right way. So customization is one. Privacy, I'll talk to you a little bit about that. And then prompting. We want to make sure that we give AI the right instructions to get the right things back. We'll talk about how to do things faster. We have some examples of that. How to do things better. Stuff that you're doing, but maybe you could do a little bit better. AI can help you with that. And then how to use AI for brainstorming and new ideas, because it's really, really good at that. Okay, so how to use it the right way. This, by the way, is an AI-generated image. Looks pretty good, right? Looks like a real person. I'll show you a tool to use today that you can do, create images like this yourself. It's pretty easy to do. So, how to use AI to get the best results. So this is, when you're talking to AI, you're using what they call a prompt. It's really just, I'm going to tell AI what I want to do. But most people will just say, well, write me a LinkedIn post. But there's a little more to it, because if you do it the right way, you'll get much, much better results. And you'll see that today. We'll show you that. So if you start with a persona, and you tell AI what role do you want it to assume, it will take all of its giant database, hone it down and say, oh, you want me to be an expert in social media, or maybe a business strategist, or maybe a marketing guru. I don't want to hear from a hockey player, a football coach, a cheerleader, a doctor. I want an expert in a particular thing. So maybe you say something like this. You're a LinkedIn expert, skilled in creating engaging posts for financial advisors. Whoa, that's pretty specific. And yes, that's what you do. You include relevant information in your posts, a catchy hook to stop the scroll, and always include a call to action. So when you put something like that in, all of a sudden, you've narrowed the field down, but boy, are you going to get much, much better results. So the next part, the backstory. You need to tell AI a little bit about what's going on here. Your company, your client's situation. When you think about it, if you hire a consultant, the consultant just doesn't come in and go, hey, here's the results. The consultant asks you lots of questions. You give the consultant lots of information. Same thing here. So you want to make sure that you're giving AI enough background information so it knows what you're really looking for. So maybe you do something like this. I'm Jane, a financial advisor in Massachusetts. Look how specific we're getting here. With 10 years of experience, specializing in working with young professionals who are early in their careers and just starting a family. I focus on education, mindset, and how to change their habits now to create a sound plan for their future goals. Wow, pretty specific. The cool part is this backstory stuff, you can put this in once, so that I'll show you how to do that today. So it memorizes this, and you don't have to keep doing this part over and over. And finally, the task. Well, that's the thing you think about right away, right? But we've got these two other steps first that really help. So what do you want the AI to do for you? Maybe write a social media post, maybe give you insights about your clients. How about creating a template for annual reviews? All these things. It can do so many things, and you'll see an examples of that today. So you might finish this prompt with create a post introducing me that would be engaging and informative to my prospective clients, and it sets me apart from others. Use benefits-oriented language. Why do that? Because we want it to sound like it's important to the clients, not just to anybody else. Last year, you could do something like this. You're a LinkedIn expert, I'm a financial advisor, create a post for me. Easy peasy, right? Wrong. This year, it's more complicated. And why? Because more people are using AI, right? And so more people are using it. Those of you who use other platforms, remember Instagram when it started? Pretty simple. Very complex now. Same thing, because more people are using this. And so you've got to get more detailed yourself, but it's just not that hard. I'm going to give you a whole bunch of prompts today to get you started. So we're going to go a little deeper today so you can see how this all works. Okay, so the prompts, you'll see a bunch of slides here that look like this. So we have our persona, our backstory, and our task. And each time you'll see the different pieces that go in, and then I'll show you what it looks like when we're actually using ChatGPT. So now customizing. One of the easiest ways to customize ChatGPT is to have it look at your website, summarize it, and then stuff that in memory. What? Memory, you say? Yeah. So ChatGPT and the others will slowly remember stuff that you talk about as you type. And if you've been using ChatGPT for a while, you'll see that it kind of starts to remember who you are in your business, etc. But it remembers the stuff it thinks is important, not the stuff you think is important. So unless you force it to save something in memory, it won't necessarily remember the stuff you care about. So that's why we're going to do this. I call it stuff in memory. All right, so I'm going to mess around with this microphone here. Hang on. Here. So this is ChatGPT. I'm using a paid version here, just so I don't run into any roadblocks, but the free version works for all the stuff that we're doing today. I've also pre-populated the prompts in here, so we don't have to watch me type. All right, so we're going to copy this. So this. Okay, you're a marketing and branding expert for professionals for services firms. That's me. Use my website to get the basic information about my service offerings, approach, and target clients. So that's my website. You have to use the HTTPS when you do it. Summarize this into 2 paragraphs and save to memory. All right, ready? This is live. So it's searching the web. Searching. All right, here's the refined paragraphs. It read my website, it refined it, and it saved to memory. That fast. That's the power of it. So let's see what it said about me. We're an AI for biz, founded by Gail, Zona. Yeah, we know all that. Works with financial advisors, realtors, service-based firms, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I've asked it to give me sources. So there's the source, that's my website there. These services are designed to be accessible to non-tech savvy users, delivering high impact, jargon-free. All right, so it's got all that stuff. And then I'll say save to memory, and I'll show you how this works. So once you've done this, it'll take a minute or so, maybe seconds actually. And so it's saving it to a little private memory for everybody. It has that in their account. So this is, it said it saved it. If you roll your mouse over here, that you see that it saved it. There it is. See that gray stuff? And there's another way to go into memory and modify it. We won't go into that today. But the point is now, anything I do in here, any other chat I do in here, remembers that. Now today I'm going to do a whole bunch of stuff that is specific to various industries to give you some examples. But if I was setting this up for myself, that's how I would start. So pretty simple. But all of a sudden it's got all that information. It knows who I am, my name, my business, my clients, my services. That's very key. All right. So that's the first part that we're going to talk about. Let's go over here and keep going. So that's our customization piece. You can also, there's little light bulbs at the bottom of these slides, and that's kind of extra information when you get the slides and take a look at it. You can also figure out your unique value proposition as well. That's also kind of cool. So you can put some little bit more information about what you do. Ask ChatGPT, what's unique about you? What do I do that nobody else does? It'll go out, survey the web, come back, and give you that. Pretty cool stuff. Pretty cool stuff. So let's think about how we're going to do things faster and how we can use AI for that. So here's an example. This is what our examples look like. This first part, you're a LinkedIn expert skilled in creating engaging posts for insurance agents. So it's an insurance company that we're going to do something for here. You include relevant information in your posts, always include a call to action. Use emojis sparingly and only for bullet points. We're doing LinkedIn now. We don't want a whole bunch of emojis. ChatGPT loves to throw emojis in there. So we're not going to use, try not to use too many of those. Use emojis sparingly, only for bullet points. You create catchy hooks and stop the scroll. So this whole next thing, I am Brian, that's just the backstory. And normally what we do is we have Brian's information stored in memory, but today we're doing examples for lots of different people. So this is all about Brian and his property and casualty business. And then we're going to create a post highlighting the top 3 things that we help our clients with. Make it engaging and informative to my prospective clients that sets me apart from others. All right, we're going to start a new chat because we want this to be just about Brian. So here's our persona, your LinkedIn, all the way down to there. That's the persona part that we have. The backstory, it's this next piece, all the way down to there. And then here's our task. Create a post highlighting the top 3 things. All right, go. Let's see what it says about Brian. So we have a polished LinkedIn host. Hook. Business owners in Massachusetts. Are you truly covered or just hoping for the best? At Best Insurance in Andover, I specialize in protecting tradesmen, manufacturers, and IT firms with coverage that actually fits. Here's the top 3 ways we help our clients. So first, customized coverage, not cookie cutter. No 2 businesses are the same. We take the time to understand your risks. Okay, time for something here. Whether it's job site liability, cyber threats, equipment damage, build a policy that protects your operation, not just any business. Fast claims that keep you moving. Proactive risk support. So all of this, it got all this because we said you're a LinkedIn expert, Brian's got a PNC company, put it all together. And so it's giving you some pretty good stuff that you can post pretty fast. And then finally, here's our call to action. If you're a business owner in trades, manufacturing, IT in the Andover area, let's talk about how I can safeguard your business. Connect me today to get started. So it gives you some pretty good text. You want to use this to have a good start. And you might say, you know, I think what I'd really like here is something, let's see, make this casual, non-salesy. All right, so we'll say make this casual, non-salesy. That's a word you can use with ChatGPT, it gets it. So now we're going to change the tone. So remember, we've customized it with either this backstory or saving to memory. But you can change the tone, and that's how you start to make it sound like you. ChatGPT starts off sounding like a robot, but it really is just a default style. It has to start off sounding like something, right? So if you want to change it, you can change it to be all sorts of things. Make it sound like a millennial. Make it sound like an older person. Make it sound like a hipster. Make it sound like 2 friends having a casual conversation. Make it sound, you see, all sorts of things you can do, and now it starts to sound a little more human, which is what you want. So this is a little bit different, right? Instead of very formal, now it starts off with, running a small business is tough enough. Insurance should make it harder. Well, that's pretty friendly. That's a pretty nice way to start. And then, again, still more casual here. Over the years, I've noticed there are a few things my client appreciates most in working with us here at Best Insurance in Andover. So his information's coming into the LinkedIn post, but not right up there in your face. So a nice way to do this. Now, it even says, so anytime ChatGPT gives you results, and all the AIs work like this, they'll give you suggestions of other things they can do. So it says, this version leans more on storytelling and empathy, less on selling. Okay. And then it says, would you like me to strip out the company name too so it feels even more like a personal reflection rather than Best Insurance? So I said, make it non-salesy. So it's saying, all right, well, here's other ways we can make it non-salesy. So you could pull out the Best Insurance piece if you wanted. So if you want to do that, you say, yeah, that sounds like a good idea. So let's say yes. So here's Brian just speaking as himself. A lot less salesy. At the end of the day, my goal is simple: give business owners peace of mind so they can focus on what they do the best. Now, you can also do a shorter snackable version, or you can do a shorter version if you want. Let's say yes to that too, so you can see what this looks like. But for anything that you're doing in AI, you can always ask for a longer, more detailed version, or shorter version. Make a version with bullets, make a version in paragraph form. You can change the format like that. So now, here's the quick and dirty version. Running a business is tough enough, and sure, it shouldn't add to the stress. For me, it comes down to three things: coverage that actually fits, claims that don't drag on, looking ahead, not just reacting. That's what gives business owners peace of mind, so they can focus on what they do best. So it can change that, and we've talked a lot through this, but bang, bang, bang. It can go really, really fast, so you can get great results really quickly. There are lots of image generators out there. I'll show you one called Whisk today. But what I typically do is I create the prompt in AI. And the reason is because I might say, show a business owner on a laptop. But ChatGPT says, no, if you want a prompt for an image generation tool, you need lots of details. And so here are all the details. So here, look at all this stuff. Friendly modern illustrations, showing 3 simple icons, side by side, blah, blah, blah. Stopwatch, light bulb, okay. Icons are clean, okay. So let's copy this. We'll go over, so this tool is called Whisk. It's a tool by Google, and it creates some pretty darn good people images. And a lot of the images in the slides today were created with this tool. So it gives you a choice of 2. Okay, that's nice. You're like, okay, but you know what? I think I want something with people in it. Redo this and add people. So we're doing all this live. I mean, just so you know. All right, so now, okay. So here's one that has people in it. Let's see what we got. So we'll copy this. We'll go over to our tool. Pop that in. Let's see what we get this time. Because Whisk does create very, very good people. There are lots of other tools we can talk about in the Q&A section if you want, but this is okay, that's nice. Pretty fast. These images are for you to use. There's no copyrights. There's never going to be another one like this. It creates it from scratch every time. So that's kind of nice. It's not like you're going to see this image on internet anywhere. This is your image that you can use for whatever you need to do. All right, so there is our post. The nice thing too is once you have content like that, and we change the format and the tone a little bit, you can also change it to be something for email marketing, other blogs, newsletters, I mean, whatever you're trying to do. It's very easy to have it change on that sort of thing. So there's the prompt to do that, but I'm going to keep going here in the interest of time. So what other things can we do? Well, here's something that I like to show people how to do, because most people don't have any idea this is even possible. I talk about client insights all the time. And this will be for a nonprofit, but same thing applies to your business. You can really get behind who your clients, your donors are, by asking some of the right questions. And that will give you better insight into how to market to them, how to sell to them, how to close them, or even how to maybe add products and services. So this is the kind of thing we're going to do. You're a marketing expert skilled in helping small nonprofits really learn more about their donors. So if you're a business, you're going to learn about your clients, right? I'm Winona, Executive Director of Helping Hands, a small nonprofit. So we just made this up, dedicated to supporting families in Bethune by providing essential food and clothing. We rely on our donor contributions from local businesses, local banks, and other community donors. Okay, so great, that's the backstory. Now we know who we are. So we're going to ask these things. What are the top 10 things my donors accomplish for themselves by giving us donations? So this is pretty cool because you're going to see some interesting stuff you didn't really think about. We'll start with, what are the top 10 things my donors accomplish for themselves by giving us donations? Okay, so let's see what it says. So this gives you the why behind why they're giving you money, which is helpful if you're trying to do marketing to them. So you strengthen their community, they live out their values, build a positive reputation, create meaning and legacy. All of these are really interesting stuff. And I will tell you that anytime you're asking for a list in ChatGPT or any of the AIs, it gives you the most popular things first or the most common things first. Sometimes that's exactly what you want. You want to see what are the most common things. But if you want to go beyond that and say, well, this is all stuff I know. Give me some stuff I don't know. So ask again. Okay, 10 more things. Well, what are these? Maybe these are some things you didn't really think about. Fulfill a sense of responsibility, reduce feelings of helplessness, strengthen employee engagement, build a tradition of giving. And you can keep going with this. You can go up to about 50 before it starts to hallucinate. Hallucinate? What do you mean by hallucinate? Well, ChatGPT is built to please people. And so it wants to give you good answers. It's working very hard to give you good answers. And so even when it's not totally sure what to do, it'll keep trying to give you good answers. So my favorite example, when I had my gift business, I was trying to come up with some product ideas. And in the gift business, I handmade things in wood and glass. So I'm asking for product ideas under $50 for small businesses in wood and glass. Okay, first 10 things. Business card holder, calendar, blah, 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 blah. I want some unusual stuff. So I kept going, got up to about 50. And it starts giving me things like, okay, create a puzzle in glass for a business card. What? Create a glass wall clock with hands out of glass. I can't really do that. It just was kind of crazy. Now, it did give me some interesting ideas that I ended up using, but not in the way that it said. But the point is, it wants to help you so badly, it just keeps giving you stuff over and over. So I usually tell people you can go up to 10, 20, 30. After that, beware, because the stuff is just going to be a little crazy. And then that leads me to, you should always read anything that AI does for you, right? You guys know that. Hopefully it's been drilled into your head. But it will give you results. You can tell it to ask for sources so you can check the results. That's a good thing to do, because it usually goes out to the web to find things. But even if it looks like the stuff's okay, if it's using all the right sources, it may have pulled something out and it's got a point of view over here, and you are here. So you want to read it not just for the language, you'll probably correct that, but read it for accuracy and point of view. And I'll tell you, if you're in healthcare, AI is famous for pulling stuff off the web. Well, we all know the web is the best source for healthcare advice, right? Yeah, that's exactly where we all go. Maybe, but we know it's not the best source. So, same kind of thing. AI is famously biased for healthcare folks. So, just be aware of that when you're using this. Okay, so there's our donor benefits. But here is another thing you can do. What are the reasons they would not give us donations? A good tip is to ask questions in the negative, because you'll get stuff that, really good insights that maybe you didn't think about. Why will my customers not buy from me? Maybe some answers, things you didn't think about. Okay, personal financial barriers, okay. Perception of your nonprofit. Lack of visibility or awareness, unclear impact, concerns about efficiency, not feeling personally connected. All of this is like, oh, I better check this out, right? Just gives you some ideas of things you might want to consider that perhaps you hadn't considered before. So that's a very important kind of a thing to think about when you're using AI, ask in the negative. Okay, let's flip back. So that was our client and donor insights. You can do follow-up emails fast. In the interest of time, I'm going to talk through some of these, and I won't do all of them, but I'll talk through it so you understand how it works. Your communications expert skilled in helping realtors communicate effectively with prospects and clients. All right, well, we know realtors like to go like this. I'm Sarah, realtor in the Haverhill, Mass area. I work primarily with older clients who are retiring, already retired, who are downsizing. So now, when you're using AI to help you with emails, the best advice I can give you is to create a template first, and this is how we do it. We're going to create a template that starts with a friendly greeting, has a few sentences based on our conversation. If there's something personal, let's put that at the top, and then use bullet points, right, to spell out what's there and next steps, etc. That's a fabulous way to do something, because then once you get the conversation, you can either get it through a Zoom transcript, right? We all use Zoom and the transcripts. You can there's a little microphone button on ChatGPT. You can click on that and talk into it. If you're just That is what I tend to do after I'm done with MVCC networking events. I'm in the car on my way home. I got my ChatGPT on my phone, turn that mic on. Okay, I talked with this person and this person. I want to make sure I follow up with this one and this one and this one. And it turns all those notes into a very nice summary. And even if I want to go further and say, okay, I want to make sure I email Susan and tell her that I want to see her at the next event, I can do all of that through that dictation. But that's just something that you can do. But this is the kind of thing that you do. And then close the email with all the best, Sarah, make the tone friendly and helpful. So you create that, then you have it create the email using the template and the conversation, and there you get a personal, professional, polished email. It works fabulously. Using AI to help with tough questions. And this is something that most people don't know about. AI can have a conversation with you. Not the kind where, you've got a pretend girlfriend and all that crazy stuff that's going on. I don't know, I can't imagine what really happens there, but no, you can actually have a conversation with AI about a business problem. And one of the greatest, easiest things to do, or not easiest, but probably one of the most insightful things to do, is have a question about prices. And one of the ways you do that, this last thing, I'm considering raising my prices. What information do you need to know to help me with that decision? So instead of telling AI all this stuff, you ask, here, AI, you ask me, what do you need to know to do a price analysis and help me figure out whether I should raise my prices? And it's going to come back and ask you all sorts of things. And you can answer some of that. Let's go back. But you just answer what you know. And if you don't know, you leave it blank. So it will look something like this. Here's our persona. You're a business strategist for an IT. You understand how to window wedge prices and the impacts it'll have, okay? And then here is our backstory. Okay, all the stuff that we need to know about Mark and his IT company. And then here is our task. I'm considering raising prices. What do you need to know? So ChatGPT says, okay, all right, Mark, well, here's what I need to know. And of course, you're like, oh my God, I don't even know all this stuff. Client sensitivity, and you're like, yeah, okay. Well, what if I don't know these things? Because most people don't. Okay, it's very common. It's okay, Mark. Very common. Simplify the numbers. And it tells you a simple way to give it the right information. So, like I say, have a conversation with AI. It's not just about ask and answer, it's about the conversation, the back and forth. That's the way you can do that sort of thing. Okay, let's keep going. So that's with the tough questions. Brainstorming for new ideas is a great way to use AI because it never runs out of ideas. And it can just keep going. You can say, okay, I like that, but change it a little bit this way, it'll do that for you. So like a content calendar. Accounting and tax firms have a double of a time, usually, figuring out what to write, what to put on LinkedIn. They're doing something that is not everybody's top favorite thing, but they still have to get their point across, and they still have to get people to look at what they're doing. So we can start off with, I'm your LinkedIn expert, skilled in helping small accounting firms. And here's Linda's description of her tax firm. Then we're going to create a content calendar to give her some ideas here. For LinkedIn posts for a certain time period, 2 posts a week, on interesting content, blah, blah, blah. So the cool part is if you want to create a content calendar, get the slides, do this exact same thing, just put your own stuff in. But this is the basis of a prompt to do this sort of thing for you. Okay, so if we want to see how that works, let's go over to ChatGPT. And we'll grab Linda's information. You'll notice here I said create it in a table format, which is always pretty useful. Okay, so here is our persona, here, and then the backstory again, here, and then the final part, create content calendar with all these details, create in a table format. All right, so we're going to take seasonality into account, and here is our content calendar. September 17th, so we started it next week. And we're assuming 2 posts a week. And there we go. Theme, back to business, service spotlight, seasonal, meet the firm, productivity. Like you could do that in 5 minutes. It's certainly something that somebody could come up with, but this is an easy way to get ideas about what to post. And then you can keep going and have it write the post, as you saw. We wrote that LinkedIn post. You could have it write LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, whatever you're trying to do. But it will give you all of these different ways. And here's the seasonality, smart ways to manage cash flow before the holidays. 3 steps to get your books ready for year end. So have it take all those things into account. Even geography. One of the things I'm always talking to realtors about is having it take geography into account, because you don't want posts for California or Texas or Hawaii, right? We're in New England. I mean, we're doing stuff that matters here. You want fall leaves. You want palm trees. So that's a good tip. Always take geography and seasonality into account if you can. And then we'll finish up here. So that's our brainstorming one. Another thing you could do is something like this. Let's suppose you've got for this example, this is an estate planning attorney. So he's been doing seminars, all right, we're all doing seminars. What kind of campaign would be most effective for turning the list of participants in my recent seminars into clients, right? So how do you do that? You've got this list, now what? What are some novel ways I can keep in touch with these participants? So let's see what ideas ChatGPT has for Jeff here. Because this is a great way to get some good ideas on how to convert clients into, or prospects into clients. And notice what we said here. What are some novel ways? So we don't just want anything that's usual and regular. Let's do something really different. Okay, so now it gives us, immediate funnel upgrade, more personalized note. So that's something you could have ChatGPT help you with, a resource packet. All right, maybe you'd prepare that in advance. Midterm over the next 4 to 6 weeks. So all this is stuff you could have ChatGPT help you do. Conversion tools, novel ways, here we go. So quarterly estate planning insights newsletter. Yeah, okay, holiday or milestone cards. All right, that's an idea. Podcast, yeah. Community seminars for alumni. Yeah, but what are some really novel ways? Because this looks a little boring. Let's see if we can get some really interesting ideas here. And it's always something you can do with ChatGPT, because you just keep asking questions. Okay, estate planning simulations. Interesting. On interactive online quiz, choose your own adventure scenario. Well, that's a little novel. Now we're getting somewhere. AI-powered future letter, offer to create a personalized letter to your future self or family. Okay, interesting. Mini case study workshops. Humanized personal outreach. Voice note, short video check-in. Handwritten estate tip cards. Interesting. All right, whether Jeff does this or not, the whole point is now we're getting to something that nobody else is doing. And that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to figure out how to help Jeff stand out here. So we've got a bunch of ideas and prompts and ways to use ChatGPT today. Hopefully your head's kind of buzzing. You're going, yeah, okay, I got some ideas here. And there are more, always more. It can help with lead generation. That's more complicated than we had time for today, but it's very good at helping with that. Turning leads into clients, we had a little bit of that. How to close more sales. It can help you with sales conversations. You can do interactive practice live with a voice with ChatGPT. Trust me, it's a little crazy, but it's cool. And then you can have it analyze what you said to make it, see if you could do better. The whole price discussion, how do I save time for realtors creating MLS listings. You can have a question about should I hire someone, and if so, what should they be doing? How do I get more referrals? Should I open another office? So all of these questions are things that you can use ChatGPT to help you with. So if you're interested in getting the slides, like I say, the flyers on the table, just the top QR code will get you those slides. I'm available for anyone to help you with figuring out how AI can help your company specifically. We can have a 30-minute one-on-one conversation over Zoom. We can talk specifically about your business, like, well, what are you doing now, and how can AI help you do some things to save time, do things better, etc. Happy to have that discovery chat. And now, questions. What have I know I went really fast today, but I just want to make sure we got it all in. What kind of questions do people have that I can answer? Yeah, go ahead.
Hi. Thank you for the presentation. We really are at a cusp, and God knows what's going to happen in the next year or two, let alone 5 and 10, right?
Yeah.
This is really marrying the internet to the next thing. You spoke about ChatGPT. Could you touch on security, privacy, especially with the free version for people, and what your thoughts are there?
Yeah, very good question, and I highly recommend that. Let me go here and just show you what you should be doing with the free version. If you go into ChatGPT, and it's the free version, so this is a free version here. The question's going to be, all right, what we're doing is down the lower left-hand corner, but I'm going to, when you go in here, you'll see your initials and your name. And you want to go up here and click on settings. Did it show up? Yes. Okay, you want to click on settings, and you want to click on data controls. And then you'll see something that says improve the model for everyone. Well, that's nice, but guess what? We do not want to do that, thank you very much. It starts off as on. We'll click it and turn it off, like that. And then you say done. All right, that means it will not be sharing your information as you type, or the results that you get, back into OpenAI's giant database. So that is something you want to do. I'm glad you mentioned that, Merrimack, thank you. That's something you want to do. If you haven't done that yet, go home and do that. There's a couple of versions that, if you buy the team version, that's automatic, but both the free version and the plus version, that $20 a month version, you need to do what we just did there. So you need to go in and turn that off. If you have any questions, email me afterwards, and I can give you a little document that shows you how to do that. But that's really, really critical. Otherwise, though, from a security perspective, it's not going to take your information verbatim and spit it back out, because it doesn't work that way. Everything that you type in, it tokenizes, and so every response, it takes all those tokens and creates a new response that comes back out to you. So it's not like it's saving blocks of text that you type in. It just doesn't work that way. So you don't have to be worried so much about that. But the key thing is to do that little privacy thing you just did. All right, good question. Thanks, Harvey. Anybody else? Other question? Do you want me to talk quickly about the different versions of AI? Chat, GPT, Copilot, Gemini? People curious about that? Okay, so almost all these guys have a free version and a $20 a month version. I don't know where the $20 came from, but everybody's got the $20 a month version. And that's the version that does more stuff. Free ChatGPT will do an awful lot, but the issue is that it'll start off by giving you some of the advanced features. You can do a few of the graphic images, you can do a few uploads of files, but then after a while it stops allowing you to do that, and you have to pay $20. So most business users I know have decided to go ahead and do the $20 a month version. All right, so that's ChatGPT. As I said before, ChatGPT is the best, in my estimation, for customization. It lets you customize all sorts of things. It's really, really good that way. You can make it sound just exactly like you with a little tweaking. Copilot, which comes, Microsoft is forcing that down everybody's throat, but Copilot, which comes with your Office suite, it won't quite do that same thing. It's not as good at creating nice looking text and formatting it. And the crazy part, I'm teaching somebody how to use that right now. You know, it's Microsoft. I'd like it to create a Word file, thank you very much. You'd think that'd be a no-brainer. Nope, can't do it. Now, ChatGPT can. You can ask ChatGPT to create a downloadable Word file for you, downloadable Excel file, downloadable PDF, and it can do it. I don't know why Copilot can't. Maybe at some point in the future it'll be able to. It's okay. The cool part about Copilot is that it's integrated with your Microsoft Office suite. So it's integrated with your emails and Word and Excel and all that. That's the nice part about that. Google's Gemini, Google can't decide if they're going to be Copilot or ChatGPT, because they're integrating everything with their Google suite, right? Sheets and docs and everything. But then they're still trying to do the stuff that ChatGPT is doing. I will say So they don't have quite all the features, but you know, they're getting there. Some people like it better for the text that it produces. That's fine, that's a personal preference. I don't think it's as easy to customize my own thing, but that's just kind of a personal preference. But it's a very decent tool. Claude's Anthropic, they went down a path to start working more with people doing coding. Now, a lot of people liked it because of the language it produced, but again, I'm really more interested in how you can customize it opposed to the native mode for it. But they kind of went down the coding path. So I usually tell my business clients, no, don't look at that one. Grok, interesting. Kind of political, so you have to decide how you want to deal with that. But it doesn't have all the business features that ChatGPT does. So ChatGPT, voice mode that I talked about, where you do interactive sales stuff, being able to upload a bunch of documents, certainly the memory and the customization isn't there. So a good tool, just I don't think this is good for business use. And DeepSeek, that Chinese one, if you want your data stored in China, go ahead. So that's kind of my take on the big tools there that people talk about. I will say that Google has the best image generation tools. They have quite a few. So I talked about Whisk. There's another one that just came out called Nano Banana. No kidding. Nano Banana. It will take photos and modify them a little bit, but keep your head the same. So I've just been playing around with it. That just came out. It's kind of cool. So if I want to put me in on a race car or something, I can, here's Gail in the race car, but that's her real face. So. Anyway, other questions people have? All right, well, thank you so much for coming today. Really appreciate it.
And I just want to present Gail with the, just put that much. Just with a plaque for appreciation, so thank you very much.
Oh, thank you so much.
As well. So thank you all. Expo still running till 3. We look forward to seeing the mixer at 3 o'clock. And if you have any questions, let me know as well. Thank you, everyone.